In 1,000 days, I went from zero to scaling to $1 million a month in roofing marketing spend. And in this video, I'm gonna go over the 4 main principles that have helped me and my clients scale to $1 million in spend. And if you're wondering, why the hell should I listen to this kid? I'm Nick. I founded a company called NCT Media, and we help solar and roofing companies all across the United States scale their businesses with paid ads. The first main thing, the first principle that I see roofers just completely are off the mark on is knowing where their leverage lies. So a lot of you guys, or a lot of you people in the roofing industry in general, they door knock. The thing with door knocking and many other systems, like everything works in terms of marketing. Ads work, organic works, door knocking works, cold calling works, sending flyers work, sending out business cards work. It all works. But the thing about knocking, especially, is it only works if you're working. You are only setting appointments if you are out there every single day for hours and hours and hours, manually setting appointments. So you as a business owner, or even you as a rep who sells roofing, you need to find ways to get appointments when you sleep. You need to have it set up in such a way where you are not actively having to work to generate appointments. You need to find a way where when you wake up in the morning, when your head comes off the pillow, you need to have something on your calendar. If you have to get up manually, go out to your neighborhood, go knock around and do whatever you do when you knock, it's extremely low leverage. The hours you put in versus what you get out for those hours is not ideal whatsoever. The biggest rule of thumb that I play by when I talk to clients or when I talk to other roofers that are primarily using door knocking and they're trying to find ways to get off of it, whether they are knocking themselves or they have a team of knockers, is it's ideal if you can replace people with a system. So with door knocking, if you're knocking yourself or if you have a team under you, there are people that make that system work. So just like how you see AI taking out certain jobs, right? So AI is outsourcing people that are working. People get tired, they need to eat, they need to go on break, they need to have a vacation. So that's obviously inefficiencies in the system itself. So if you can replace the people with a system that works all the time, always, forever, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, during Christmas, during Kwanzaa, whenever, if it's always working, that's obviously higher leverage. So when you're building out your system, you need to keep that in mind. You always want to replace people with a system when you can. So with systems like door knocking or cold calling or any other systems that use people, it works. If it's bringing in deal flow for you, continue to use it. But just understand when you're trying to scale up the systems, there is a lot more inefficiencies with that. So like for door knocking, like once again, I'm using an example because it's the most popular system, obviously, right? So let's just say you scale up a team to 50 reps. Now people are quitting. You got to hire more people. Now you have to recruit just to fire up the marketing side. Right? So once again, inefficiencies rather than just focusing on scaling up the marketing itself. You have to scale up the team that runs the marketing, then you have to train them, right? So lots of inefficiencies. So like I said, if you're doing it, continue to do it if it's bringing in deals, but understand in your mind that when you want to scale, you need to have the least amount of inefficiencies possible to make it easier for you. Because guys, this game is not about who can sell the most, like who can sell with the highest close rate. It's about who can sit down with the most people and who could do that the most effectively. So the best roofers that I see, they understand that. So the first principle, just know where your leverage lies. Know that you don't have to door knock. And if you can understand that, now your mind opens itself up to other possibilities. So for the first principle of the 4, I wanted it to be something about your mindset. Because if your mind is working against itself and you think like, ads don't work or organic doesn't work or these other strategies don't work, they don't work for me, that's complete crap. Complete and utter crap. You need to clear that out of your mind now. Door knocking is not the only way. So the next 3 principles, I'll get into some more tactical stuff to kind of help you out with whatever strategy you're doing. So when you're running your paid marketing campaigns, whatever strategy that you're running, the longest lever that you can pull is your offer. And I'm sure you've heard that with, other industries and just business in general, but with roofing, it is extremely important because roofing is a need-based offer. So I'll see a lot of guys that they're running like email campaigns or they have flyers or they're running ads, whatever it is, and they'll have something up. It's like, we've been in business for 25 years and we have 500 5-star reviews. Like, that's not an offer. And I promise you, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares how long you've been in business. Nobody cares how many 5-star reviews you have. Like, sure, it'll help you on your Google presence. But when you're talking about actual conversions at scale, they're not looking, for the most part, about how many reviews you have or how long you've been in business. That shouldn't be the forefront of your offer. And the reason for this is because people care more about how you can help them and not so much about how great you are, how long you've been in business, how many 5-star reviews you have. When you're doing your marketing, you need to think about your prospect. So how can you help them? Because that's all they care about. They don't know who you are. They don't care that you've been in business for 25 years. So I'm glad that's out of the way. The next thing. So what the best roofers in the industry, what they understand in the top 1%, what they understand is what type of product they sell, what type of industry that they're in. So there's a difference between a want-based offer and a need-based offer. So for example, a want-based offer, think of designer clothing. So when you go to Louis Vuitton or Gucci, people want that brand. They want the status that the brand brings, so they're willing to pay a premium for that because they want to associate themselves with that brand. Roofing is complete opposite. Roofing is a need. They have a leak or the roof is 25 years old, they're trying to sell their house and they need a new roof in order to sell it. Their insurance is super pissed off at them because there's a ton of liability, whatever it may be. They need a new roof and they need it now. So when they're looking for their options, they're just seeing who can do it for the best price. Like who can get this done fast, who can get this done quickly, who can get this done for the best value, right? So the top 1% of roofers, like I see a lot of people, they'll complain like, oh, there's so many price shoppers. All these guys are price shopping. My leads are price shopping me. The top 1% of guys, they don't complain about price shopping. They understand the industry that they're in and they set their campaigns up in a way where there's perceived value to the homeowner. So the homeowner doesn't come in price shopping because they understand the psychology behind the prospect. They understand the industry they're in. So they set up their campaigns in such a way where there's perceived value in their offer. So once you understand how to build perceived value within your campaign, even if you're not the cheapest in the market, even if you're the most expensive in the market, price shopping becomes less and less of an issue because you know how to set up your campaigns. So for us, obviously, like I'm a paid ads guy, so that's kind of what we do. So the way that we have our whole funnel set up is when we start. So obviously like the ad creative being like the very top of the funnel, right? The ad creative. So with our offer that is shown on that creative, we are extremely aggressive on how we're marketing to them. And then as the funnel goes along, we get less and less and less aggressive. So like the ad creative being the most aggressive in its offer, then the copy being a little less aggressive, then our survey being a little less aggressive, callers being a little less aggressive. And then once you get into the house and you're the salesperson, which is pretty much the end of the funnel, when you're in the house, you are now a very consultative, easy to talk to, super nice guy, decisions in your hands type of salesperson. So now let's get into some tactical offers, like a good offer that we've ran in the past and have made our clients millions of dollars with, and also really bad offers that we see. So the bad offer, we already kind of went over. So the 25 years in business, that's not even an offer at all. Never run that on any ad creative, like no campaigns like in your emails, unless it's like crammed down in the bottom of the email, right? We don't want to be mentioning that as an offer because it's not an offer at all. Now, an example of a extremely simple offer, just to drive the point home that we've once again ran millions of dollars through, is having a number on screen starting ad offer. And what that means is that you can have a simple ad creative where you have a picture of a roof and you just have new roof starting at X price. So the price that you put, typically we want to keep it between $5,000 and $9,000. So even if you're not selling roofs typically between that range, it's a starting at price. So in your ad copy, you want to say like it's going to depend based on the damage and the size of your roof. And then when you're setting the appointment, whether you have a call team to do that for you or you're doing it yourself, you want to further set their expectations. It's like, hey, it depends on the size of your roof. So you see how we're becoming less and less aggressive as time goes on because we want to get them to opt in. We want to give us our information. Once we have the information, ball's in our court. Now expectation setting can happen over time. And then we get them to the house, we do the inspection, and then you guys price at whatever price that you guys have. This is one of the easiest and best offers that you can run because once again, roofing is a need-based offer. With need-based offers, when you have number on screen offers, so you have like a $69.97 roof, or you have like a $10,000 slash, and then it's like $89.97. When you have numbers on screen, it's great for need-based offers because people, once again, they're looking for numbers because it's a need. If I was marketing for a luxury brand, I would be marketing with emotion, making people feel like the sense of status that comes with the brand. I wouldn't say like, get your Louis Vuitton wallet for $497. You know what I'm saying? So now that you guys understand like basic frameworks when you're thinking about your offer, now let's run in what to do once you have it. So the third principle, we're gonna go over testing. So once you kind of have an idea of what your offer is, and once you kind of understand like, hey, maybe door knocking isn't the highest leverage thing I can be doing, now we need to understand how to test. So with marketing, obviously testing is kind of the name of the game, right? There's no correct way to set up your ads. There's no correct way to set up your cold email because there's multiple so many variations of winning strategies that there's no one way to get things to work. So first off, we need to understand that. And because there's no right way to set up your campaigns, this is kind of what makes ads and marketing hard overall. You need to test different offers. You need to test different surveys, landing page. Should I do lead form? What audience should I target? Is my pixel operating correctly? There's many different things that go into setting up your campaign, which makes so much nuance. So when you're testing, there's many different variables to test. So when you set up your campaigns, you need to understand hey, I need to find my winning formula. And almost every time, in order to do so, you need to be okay with losing money for a little bit to find that formula. There's been campaigns of mine and my clients where I've spent tens of thousands of dollars in ad spend testing many different things just to find the winning formula. But once you find a formula that pumps out conversions, it's pumping out sales, the sky becomes the limit. So when we're setting up campaigns for a new client in a new market, what we do is we typically have 3 to 9 different angles that we're testing on the campaign to start off with. So it's gonna depend based on how big your market size is and also how much you have to spend on the ads. But 3 to 9 different angles, we'll test budget into all of those different angles, and then that's how we end up finding performers over time. Sometimes it takes more spend to find a clear performer. So once we're setting up the way that we test, typically what we do is we'll test an offer, but from many different angles. So from 3 to 9 different angles. So an example, the starting at offer. So the first example of that would be a simple picture creative with the price on screen, something like this. Another way that we can hit that angle is through more of a video ad. So a storytelling offer, something like this. And the third one would be something like a new roof program in XYZ area. It looks something like this. So these are 3 examples of different angles that we're taking on a similar offer. So in all 3 of these, we have the same component of the starting at offer, whether it be on screen, in the video, or in the copy. We're just delivering the message in 3 different ways, putting budget into those 3 different ways, and seeing what ekes out as a performer over time. So principle 4. So lead nurturing / booking in your appointments. So now that we kind of understand our offer, we understand door knocking might not be the best way, and we also understand that we have to test. Now leads are probably coming through the door at this point. So we need to understand how to convert these leads at a high rate and set good, sticky appointments. So the first important thing about lead nurturing, there's 3 pillars I would say for lead nurturing. First most important is your speed to lead. If your speed to lead is off, everything else about your lead nurturing system almost doesn't even matter. If you are on the toilet taking a shit and you get a lead, you need to call the lead ASAP. That's how important your speed to lead is. What we've seen on campaigns, we're sending thousands of leads through all the time. The difference between a 60-second speed to lead or a 30-second speed to lead, just instantaneous practically, or something like a 12-minute speed to lead could be the difference between a 60% booking rate and a 10% booking rate. So let's just say your lead cost is $50. You're having sub $100 appointments with a 60% conversion rate, or you can have $500 appointments with a 10% conversion rate because your speed to lead was off. So first things first, you need to build out systems to get your speed to lead down. For us, we have a call team that is on this all the time. We can make a separate video about how to actually set up your call team and structure it around calling your leads. But for now, just understand that the first and most important principle is your speed to lead. So you need to get your speed down and understand you need to track that over time. So you need to know that it's in a good range. That's the first thing. The second most important thing that we see is the personalization of your messages when you're nurturing. So from the time that the lead is generated to the appointment being sat down, the sequence of your emails, the amount of emails or text or whatever you're sending, we find that that's actually not the most important thing of the amount and the timing. What's more important is the personalization of those messages. Now, don't get me wrong, the timing of messages and how many, they do matter, but we want to have their information included as much as we possibly can. So we want to say their name in the messages. We want to say their address in the messages. We want to say as much of their information as possible in the messages so it's personalized. So instead of just having a semi-personalized text, on my way in 5 minutes, when I have a text hey Maria, I'm on my way to your house, I'll be there in 5. That's much better. So in any way that you can, have personalization sprinkled into every step of your process. This could get a little bit tricky at scale to be extremely personalized for every single lead. So what we do, obviously like at scale, sending out thousands of appointments, we have a software that's able to send blue text messages, so like an iMessage text instead of like an Android text bubble, that is semi-personalized. And we get really creative with it. So we're sending memes, we're sending semi-personalized voice messages, we're sending videos at times, semi-personalized emails. So these things are firing off. We have software that has it completely and utterly automated. So a rule of thumb, we want to make our prospects feel like they're one of one, not one of 1,000. Not like they're just like one lead in a bucket of 1,000 other ones. We want to make it feel personal. The third and final part of your lead nurturing process should be your confirmation process. So this is something that I see people mess up all the time. So with confirmations, it can quickly become an opportunity for a cancellation. So we want to be super quick and concise. We don't want to call them for their confirmation and let them know that we've been in business for so long and send them our e-business card through text. That's not what we want to do. We want to be like a 10-second call. Our calls are legit like 10, 15 seconds for confirmations. Super quick. Something like, hey Maria, what's up? I'm in the car, I'm on my way, I'll be at your house in an hour. Sound good? Okay, perfect. That's it. 10 seconds. We don't want an opportunity for a cancellation. That's pretty much it. Those are 4 main principles to follow to setting up a system that can generate you appointments in your sleep. Door knocking's great, but if you're able to follow these principles and build up your system, it will have a lot more opportunity for scale than door knocking ever will. So if you have anything else that you want covered, let us know in the comments. We're trying to give you guys as much value as possible, and we'll make a video covering it.